to this edition of the Cavalier Sports Report. I'm your host, Anthony Juarez, and I'm sitting here with tennis coach Glen Moser. Thank you for joining me today, Coach Moser.
Oh, pleasure to be here, Anthony.
You're coming off a Region 6 tournament championship. How'd the tournament go, and how excited are you now?
Well, yeah, I'm a lot more excited now than I was Saturday morning. But anyway, we just got done with the region tournament. I just had a player walk by my office. He says, "Coach, you know, that was the most fun day of my life." And yeah, I'm not saying it's the most fun day of my life, but it was close. And we really had an incredible day. Of the two teams that played together, we played 18 individual matches, and we won 17. So first I thought I'd talk about the men. And it was a little depressing because of the 9 flights that they were in on Friday. We won 4 and we lost 5. And so when we got in the van Saturday morning, I just told the guys, we have to win every match we play today because we're playing 5 for 3rd place and 4 for the championship, and hope we get a little help, you know. And by golly, that happened. We won all 9 matches, and it got a little bit of help from Seward in one of the doubles matches. And the guys won the region championship, and this is the 3rd year in a row that they did it. So a couple names I wanted to mention individually that just really excelled this year. Nicholas Spar is one of the few players that in both years he was here, he won the singles tournament and he won the doubles tournament in both years. And winning all 4 is rarely done at our level because it's so competitive. And then his partner, Maxim Phil, won with him at 1 doubles, and he also won the 4 flight, and he really dominated his opponent, which was supposed to be a close match. So those 2 guys, and then a 3rd one that won the region title at number 5 was Harry Lee, and he's the young man that came in the office this morning, and he's from Australia, and he's on a 6-match winning streak. And again, was the 3rd seed at the tournament, so he knocked off the 1 and the 2 to win his title. So it was well earned. So that pretty much, you know, makes us feel pretty good about the men.
Definitely an exciting tournament for the men. Now, what about for the women?
You know, the ladies played just about as good as they could play. The last day they won 8 out of 9 matches, and our 1 loss might have been my favorite match of the day. Our number 1 player, Haley Craig's got a bad shoulder and really just can't hit anything above her. So she couldn't serve overhand, and she's playing the number 2 girl in the country and has to serve underhand, which we worked on. And she actually went to 3 sets, you know, won the first set serving underhand against the number 2 player. And Haley's ranked 18th now, but to be honest with talent-wise, she should be higher. And so that was one of the best losses we're ever going to have. And every single one of the other girls won either their 1st place match or their 3rd place match. And so we ended up 2nd. Cali beat us by 3 points. They had, I think, 21.5, and we had 18.5. But a couple people that should be noted, they won both their singles and their doubles flight. Mariana Gorjeska, she's from Macedonia, sophomore, and she won the number 3 flight, and she won 2 doubles along with her partner who won the 4 flight, which is Lexi Hertling, and Lexi's from Topeka, and Lexi won the 4 flight and 2 doubles. So you know, it was quite an accomplishment for the ladies.
So what's the next step for the postseason?
Okay, postseason, the women have got about 2 weeks of, we're going to play Baker in a couple days in a makeup match. And then, you know, practice hard for a week and a half. And their trip is to Tucson, Arizona, and that's always a great one. I can tell the girls it's going to be 90 and sunny, 90 and sunny, 90 every day. It's just the same thing. But you know, they're ranked 20th in the nation right now, and when we're healthy, we should be a lot higher than that. But our problem has been injuries all year long, and so. Who knows, maybe even Haley will be serving overhand by the time Nationals shows up.
Looking at your schedule, you do have a few matches here before the national tournament. Is that a good thing to keep practicing, or is that something that kind of could get the team's focus down?
Yeah, no, it's good. The men have 2 matches and the ladies have 1, and it's good because we're actually playing the best team in the Midwest, you know, besides UMKC, who's Division I, but we're going to play Northwest Missouri and they are really loaded. They won the MIAA conference, but that good competition is going to make us stronger. And the other thing I try to convince with our guys is we've got such equality on our team that we're going to benefit from playing each other, scrimmage matches at practice, and get ready for our nationals for the men, which is just about 3 weeks, and that's going to be in Plano, Texas, and it's like a little U.S. Open down there, and the men are ranked 12th in the country, but we could end up finishing a lot better if we play as well as we did this past weekend.
Being obviously the coach of both the men's and the women's, do they get to travel to each other's national tournaments, or do they?
They don't, and that's probably a good thing. But no, the women are always the week ahead of the men, and it's a little more exotic for the women because they get to fly to Tucson, whereas the men get to jump in the school van and go to Dallas, and sometimes they get a little jealous over that. But a couple years ago, I took the men on a spring trip with the girls out to Arizona so they could see what they've been missing out there. And it's always been, I've brought up the idea of flipping the two every year. That one year we go to Tucson for the men and the women go to Texas, and that's starting to get a little support. So, I don't know if I'll see it, but I think in the future they may be alternating so that, both teams can go to different places for nationals.
Well, no matter where it is, obviously winning is something that you really want to have done. So what are your expectations for both the men and the women?
A guy one time criticized me when I was saying we were shooting for 4th or 5th in the men. It's not like a basketball or a soccer game. You line up 9 different flights, and if this other team's better than you in all 9, it makes it a little difficult. In a basketball game, one team can be hot and the other team, but to have 5 guys, supersede their goals, so it is a little more, but I'm shooting, the men have finished in the top 8 the last 6-7 years, and so that being ranked 12th, we get in the top 8, I'll be very happy. And to be honest with you, I would hope the ladies certainly get a top 10 finish, so that's what we're shooting for right now.
Talking about the tradition of winning that you just said about how recently the men have experienced great success, where does this team rank in all the teams you've coached as far as talent and the ability to produce?
The men, interesting. I didn't think had as good a regular season as I hoped, but I don't know if it's a problem, but our 1 through 4 guys, 1 through 5 guys are really even in ability. And, usually you got one guy that's definitely a little superior and then the next and grind down. I could flip-flop 1 through 4 and it really wouldn't make any difference. So we have quality depth, we just haven't been knocking off the top players, like we have sometimes in the past. So, but it's an enjoyable team. I wouldn't trade these guys for anything right now. It was fun.
It's very funny, just talking to you, I can tell how excited you are. We spent the whole show talking about the players, but how excited and how ready are you for the national tournament personally?
Oh, it's the highlight of the tennis season. I always say if I didn't have that at the end of the season, it would just seem really strange, and not to go into postseason play. And there aren't many schools in the country that can say that. So I feel blessed that to be here and have that opportunity. So yeah, it's really exciting, Anthony.
Definitely exciting times to come for the tennis team. Once again, thank you for Coach Moser for joining us today. Make sure you tune in to future shows for more Cavalier sports action. I'm your host, Anthony Juarez, for the Cavalier Sports Report. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Good luck.